been 4 months since I last posted, and that's quite a while for me, I guess, when doing this YouTube thing. But I've just been really busy on the summer months. There's a lot of work for me to do in my professional life, and also the kids are off school, and I want to spend as much time with them as possible, just to have them have a really good summer. So for them, for all the guys that live abroad from the United States, they're on holiday. You guys like to call vacation holiday, and I took some time off too to be with them. So we did a lot of stuff together. Um, the summer also entails the dreaded Jehovah Witness convention. I forget what they call it now. District convention, regional convention. I mean, the changes are so prevalent that it's hard to keep up. And for someone like me, I don't want to keep up with the Jehovah Witnesses, keeping up with the Joneses, as they say. But it's just keeping up with Jehovah there. I'm trying to have a mindful, approach to my kids to be there as much as possible. They're in those formidable years that they understand quite a bit more, and they're understanding even more. They are observing everything, my wife and I interaction and their environment. And this comes in play with the conventions too. In the past, since the kids were very young, my wife, she likes to go to these conventions every year. And of course, she wants to lug the two kids with her and have them endure the 3 days of sitting in the stadium seating and just be bored to death, just about, including the husband. The kids are a handful, and the only reason why I go is to accompany my wife, keep her company outside of the convention and stuff like that, but also, to have a handle on the kids to make sure they behave. Just trying to make it as smooth as possible. I'm not the type to where, well, the kids are a handful. I know that, so let me not go, so she would not be able to listen or have a good time at the conventions. But that's not my style. That's not the way I want to approach things at all. So I do help her to keep an eye on them. So if they act up, we just take a walk around the stadium or arena there and just keep them in check. Try to keep things civil there. But I noticed this year a difference with the kids. They have mentioned that they love going to the hotel. It's a novelty for us when we go to these things because it's quite a bit of ways. So we have to stay overnight in a hotel. And we try to get a hotel that's halfway decent and not too expensive, but not too cheap. And it has to have a pool. But the kids love that. I mean, it's an adventure for them. And I guess at home, this is not when we were at the convention area or whatever, they were getting excited about going to the hotel, not to the convention, of course, but to the hotel. That was their version of holiday or vacation or going out outside our area to experience something not normal to us. So I sit back and I think about it, and it's like, that is not natural. That's not, I don't want going to the hotel for 2 or 3 nights to be the highlight of the summer. That is just insane for kids. If you think about it, you want to, maybe go to the beach or to the lake, go out camping or an amusement park in whichever part of the world that you may be living at. And that is a childhood in my mind. Experiencing cultural, events or that is not your own or something to that effect. Going to the convention, maybe for the adults that are into the Watchtower, that may be the highlight of the year, but for me and the kids, it's just sure torture, and I don't want that sort of. I don't want that to be a tradition for us every year to go to the convention and having that being staying at the hotel be the highlight of the event of that summer. That's I want to build good memories. Uh, that is what I want to instill in my children. Of course, give them everything that I didn't have as a kid, but also experience life in general. I mean, whether it be another culture or vacation or something to that effect. But to have staying at a hotel in a different city in a not a very nice city at that, I don't think, is not like New York City or Miami Beach or Paris or something to that effect. It's really this place that we stay at is not a destination point. Far from it. I don't want that to be their memories as adults when they look back and reflect on their childhood. I want to avoid that. And so, but what can you do? The wife, she wants to go to the convention. It's 3 days, and sure, we'll go. But I offset that particular scenario by actually taking vacation myself and be with my kids for 2 weeks or a week around where we live at it and just go out and have fun. I mean, we went swimming a lot, hiking, and all sorts of stuff, whatever I could think of with the kids to sort of offset that memory of just the hotel during summer. Like I said, I want to build good memories. And that's pretty much why I haven't been posting much. Just having a good old time with kids. Have them sort of deflect the thought of the watchtower by doing fun family things with their worldly father. I still watch the XJW videos and I comment once in a while and everything, but I just haven't felt up to posting anything. Going to the conventions, and you cannot help but maybe catch a few things here and there that would totally upset me in their droning teaching in the conventions. I did have my convention survival kit of my cell phone with unlimited data being piped into my ears where I could just block out the whole convention and everything. But sometimes you catch a little bit of the dogma there that is totally out there in left field. The usual suspects, of course, is don't pursue an education. And some other issues as well, especially the shunning, the emphasis on shunning and the constant droning of having you be loyal to the organization instead of maybe concentrating on being loyal to God himself or whatever. So that's a personal opinion, of course. But it's getting kind of old, and I made the determination this year that this year will be the last year that I would ever sit through the whole convention program with my wife. The kids are old enough now that they could entertain themselves and settle down and not give my wife a hard time in the seats there. I'm not going to go and appear in the conventions. I'm not going to bring dress-up clothes anymore. She would have to go in there by herself and then sit through that whole program by herself. I just can't do it anymore. And also, sometimes going to the conventions, you are guaranteed to have a surprise with the dogma that they spew through the speakers there. They'll say something that'll just have you, just floored with surprise of, did you really say that type of moment? But now with YouTube here and all the XJW community, they give their, review of the conventions, and all the videos are already posted on YouTube. So you get to see the dogma at work there of the Watchtower organization and their propaganda. So I'm not surprised anymore when I go to the convention. So you guys, you provide the spoiler alert there, so I don't get that surprise when I go to the convention anymore. And something that I would bring up with the wife, later on in conversations. It's like, what did you mean by so and so and this, that, and the other? That was kind of like the only highlight thing that it's gone for me now. And also, being a worldly spouse, someone on that of that faith sitting through the whole program there, I can't help but be insulted every time that I sit through that program there and I hear parts of the program there that relates to, worldly people, people of not of the Jehovah Witness faith, and how they portray that image to, the flock there, the audience in the stadium there. Especially this year, I'm talking about 2017, where they have a specific video about this kid who's having, kid problems, teenage problems or whatever, and the dad is worldly, and they always portray worldly people as just these horrible, abrasive, I wouldn't say non-conforming, but non-understanding sort of beings that their initial reaction to anything is just aggression and ultimatums. It's kind of ironic that that's what the Watchtower actually, if you observe their way, is how they act in reality, and just from my observations. But this particular year, I watched that, and I was like, why do I even sit here to be insulted every time I come? Not every year, but we're talking about for the past 15 years here and there, and be told the same old thing that I'm just a horrible, worthless, person that deserves to die. That's the bottom line when all is said and done at the Armageddon time. But in the meantime, it's just that reinforcement of I am horrible. Believe me, guys, I don't take this to heart. I don't believe in it. I know it's the propaganda. But after so many years, you get old. It gets old listening to that. I don't want to be in a place of negativity anymore, where you are just being brought down to a level that they want to sort of put you in this little box where in reality, as far as the people that I see around me in my situation, as far as an unevenly yoked sort of scenario where one is a Watchtower member, a Jehovah Witness, and the other partner is just a regular guy, a regular person, a non-believer. They are caring parents nonetheless. I don't think I've ever have given my wife an ultimatum about an issue, about anything. Of course, we have difference of opinions, and we talk about it, and many times it does turn into an argument, but at the end of the day, we are still together. And we reconcile, we agree not to disagree, and lately it's been I will agree to ignore you. This is from my wife's perspective, but that's okay. It's not the I'm gonna smack you down and walk out on the family because of your religion. I mean, there to me there is just a greater it's my family. I love them to death, both the wife and the kids equally. And this religion is not a good enough reason to even bant an eyelash at. It's not a good enough reason to have a bad relationship or anything like that. In any relationship, you have to work on it. After a while, you do push each other's buttons and everything. But I think for the common good of the family, you just need to rise above that and continue on with keeping that cohesive group together, no matter what religion you may follow, as long as it's not harmful. then again, that's the twist. For me, I think the Jehovah Witness religion is harmful to some people. But as we all know, I have to walk that fine line between, activism and, whatever you want to call it. I'm going in tangents here, but the bottom line this summer, I've been working a lot, and I've been having a really good relationship with my kids. And I'm showing them the complete opposite of what they possibly glanced at in the convention this year of the a worldly spouse just acting the fool, or being abrasive, or being something negative, to where what they actually see in real life is a supporting, loving uh, father or mother for those ladies out there too, that shower nothing but love to their kids, and want to have them succeed in their lives, and pass on those virtues and morals that the Watchtower doesn't have a monopoly on. I mean, so that's the whole pretty much rundown of my whole summer here. The big news that I think for me would be that I'm done going to the meetings. I don't go because I want to. I just don't go. I go just to accompany my wife, just to be accompanied, and that's including the conventions. But this time around, I will go to, I will take them there as far as transport, and be there afterwards, but I will not set foot in that hall or convention ever again. The only reason why I would go in there is to have lunch. They'll have a lunch break and stuff like that. And so I'll bring in the lunch with them and have lunch with them in the seats there. Then go on my merry way, enjoying whatever city that we end up in, and doing cultural things on my own. And that, in turn, will give my kids a choice between going to the convention and being with their mom in the seats for 8 hours a day, or hang out with dad maybe at the poolside, or going to an ice cream shop or whatever in the particular hosting city. The whole thing is give them a choice. I'm not going to tell them not to go. I'm not going to, give them like a difference of opinion that would be negative to anything. It'll be like, listen, I'm not going to the meeting because I don't agree with this, that, and whatever policy that the Watchtower is providing. So there's no reason to go to a place where it's hostile to my well-being. So you could either go if you want to, or you could be with me and we could do other things that is positive. So I think I'm going to pass on giving the kids, make them have a choice as to what they want. The kids had a birthday lately, and I did give them birthday gifts, and I stated as so. Listen, this is a birthday gift. I am very happy that you were born on a certain amount of this certain date, and it was the greatest day in my life. To be privileged to witness you take your first breath on earth, and for I to be there to witness that particular moment, which is true. And I want to commemorate this, or just, give my appreciation for you to join us by giving you this birthday present of whatever you want, or not exactly whatever you want, but something to show my love for them. And those are small gestures that may not mean anything to a lot of people out there, but it means a lot to a child, and not just the gesture, but the message behind that gesture is that, kids, I love you no matter what. Wife, I love you no matter what. But I'm not gonna, subside my traditions. And I hate to call it traditions, really, but this is how I express my devotion to all of you, and my love, of course. Just around every corner, just to have a little bit of seeds of compassion and affection in that manner, that in my eyes, it goes against, the abrasive nature and the controlling nature of the Watchtower society, and I think that is the key to, you know, hopefully our success or their success. And I think I'm rambling on now, and I'll end it at this. Okay.